Today, I'm breaking down my top 3 composition tips that actually work, using real tools you can steal today and the ones I wish I learned sooner. I'll be showing you exactly how story drives shapes, emotion, and the entire thought process behind my latest project, The Cage. And bonus points if you like Deltarune. And even if you've never seen a pixel from this game, I'll provide context so you don't feel too lost. But if you do vibe with the rune, well, you've come to the right place. The brain rot is real, let me tell you. My name is Kiana Peppers, anime dork, cat mom, and note sharer, where everything I know, you know. Welcome to the heart in the art, because art should still mean something. I got another crystal tingle. And the last one I felt made this. And this. And this. And I got another one for December. It doesn't happen with every artwork, but when it does, buckle up. I was bouncing around ideas for November. Maybe I'll finally tackle Undertale Yellow with Saroba, or start Gerson and Susie. But then I heard this song. Instantly took me back to those old school Warrior Cat speed paints I grew up watching. You know when a song hits and your brain goes, oh, we're drawn today. Yeah, that. At first I thought I'd make a sister piece to The Prophecy. Bloody Susie, crying Rousey, Chris between shattered glass. But wait, didn't I just draw that? And that's when today's theme finally clicked. Tip number 1, start with the story. Not composition. Whenever I want a piece to hit emotionally, I start with the story. Because the second I switch from cool visuals to what is this about, a new symbol slammed into my brain. The only part of the prophecy picture I couldn't work in. The cage. I stumbled on this lovely artwork by Dani Desmueles. It's not the first time I've seen it, but the iconography of Chris and their ribcage containing the soul really struck me. Rib cage, bird cage, prison, identity, all wrapped up into one metaphor. That became the cornerstone for this piece, and that metaphor led me somewhere deeper. The final thing we see at the end of Chapter 4 Pacifist. You promised. Ooh, yeah. Something serious was cooking. But before we peel that open, I've got something really exciting to share. This video is sponsored by me! Manifesting the day when that happens for you. I'm hosting my first ever Black Friday print sale the week of Thanksgiving. Starting Friday, all Deltarune prints plus a select few Etsy items will be 50% off. And for the first time ever, signed fall edition rainbow aluminum prints. These aren't on Etsy, and they're only available next week. More details coming soon. And hey, not to send out an SOS, but it's been rough financially this year. For many of us, I'm sure. So any help is massively appreciated, truly. I still have 20 years of art knowledge to share, and I'm just getting started with my Deltarune arc. Snowgrave coming soon. Point is, I really want to make this my full-time job, and every like, comment, and subscription really does help. So anyway, enough doom and gloom. I love y'all to pieces, but let's get back to business, shall we? Before the break, we paused on the line, "You promised." And honestly, I still don't know what that promise is, or who that voice belongs to, but the mystery is what makes this composition fun. Regardless of theories, even if they end up not being des canonically, they are still inextricably linked to the holidays. So Carol and Noel got dragged into this. Instead of trying to solve this puzzle, I sat with it. And suddenly, I wasn't designing, I was discovering. Chris is last seen about to jump out their window when their phone goes off. They're straddled between two worlds, their role in the story, and the alluring freedom Susie embodies. Though temporarily it seemed like Susie was winning. Hell yeah, Cruzy! But we still don't know what Chris decided. That image alone made me ask, okay, two worlds. Which one is calling them? Freedom? Responsibility? Whose pull is stronger? Susie represents freedom. Chris and Noelle in line with her rebellious rhythm. Ralsei feels like purpose, in line with the night, and by proxy Carol, who feels like consequence. And that final dialogue of negative space just lets us breathe with the choice, or the lack thereof. Our choices don't matter after all. So instead of placing characters where they belonged, I let the emotional weight place them for me.
Tip number 2, guide the viewer's eye. Design principles for artists.
Now, how do we place these characters on the canvas? Well, let's take a page out of the graphic design textbook.
Illustrators don't run.
Segueing for a sec, designers and animators alike use a secret weapon called the principles of design. How do these translate into illustration? Beautifully. Balance, emphasis, repetition, hierarchy, contrast, negative space, and color. You may have heard different names for these depending on how you learned them, but the idea is the same. These elements help us build out the pieces so everything flows. And most importantly, in English, we read left to right, up to down. Your composition should too. Use grids to align your elements, the most common ones being rule of thirds you've probably heard of, universally reliable, golden triangle, and the golden spiral, also known as the Fibonacci spiral, natural rhythm. Which grid appears here? Can you tell? It's the golden triangle. Almost. Wasn't intentional, but almost lines up.
Tip number 3.
Build your first, second, and third reads. When I say reads, where does your focus go first? If you blink your eyes open at a picture, where does your eye go? Using the previous principles, designers can guide your eye. Very important if you're looking at a map. This is where story can meet structure. First read, the central conflict. Second read, emotion. Third read, lore or symbolism. Those delicious, wait, I didn't notice that before, details. So back to the cage. First read, Chris, the rib cage, and the soul. Second read, Susie and Ralsei above, the pull upward. And third read, Carol, Noelle, and the night down below. At first, I wanted Chris going towards Susie, since narratively that's literally what's about to happen. But the composition should flow down to draw our eye to that message, you promised. So while I was sketching, I kept trying to justify why. Why would Chris be pulled downward? By the night? By their own guilt for lying to Susie? Despite Susie's call to freedom, perhaps ultimately they're being dragged down begrudgingly to their promise, and the way the prophecy is allegedly supposed to go. Interpret it however you like. In the end, that question changed everything. Shapes started revealing meaning. At one point, I redrew the knight's antlers and realized, oh my god, they mirror the ribs. Negative space, hello! Ooh, can we play with that up top too? The sanctuary's panels, the window.
Again, not because I planned it, but following the shape felt like following the story.
Even Carol and Noelle became part of the experiment. Noelle, small, powerless in her life. Carol, looming, literally controlling the town, her daughter, and to some degree, us. Their silhouettes should contrast each other. Also, rather than using the cage icon in the prophecy, I like the idea of the hands being both their light and dark world form. But which is which? Well, from looking at the Deltarune, lighteners are on top, darkeners on the bottom, and one potentially will be severed, and it'll most likely be caused directly or indirectly by the night. So that answers which one, composition-wise. Every pass made me ask new things. Who controls who? Who's watching? Who's hiding? And how does this all relate back to Chris?
It was like the composition itself was writing its own lore. That's the magic of story-first art. You're not just drawing meaning, you're discovering it.
It's a little cluttered right now, but I think with some lighting we can clean up this mess. Lastly, let's find the rough silhouettes. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. Thanks, Nyx. I also need your help. Nyx's track is 7 minutes, so I'm looking for a short, strong, dramatic 3-minute opener for the eventual speed paint. Drop Rex in the comments or the Discord's share music channel. Link in the description. Next week's Heart in the Art episode? Line art. Brush settings, stability tricks, clean line techniques, all of it. That drops the Saturday after the Black Friday sale, December 6th.
If this sparked something, hit like, comment your music Rex, and subscribe for part 2. Now go make something that hits the heart. Peace.